Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about the problems and defects of consumer stores. What are the serious drawbacks that can be found in the working of consumer cooperative stores and how that can be overcome? So this video will help you in understanding the major problems faced by them and what are the suggestions regarding uh, overcoming these problems. So first one is inadequate finance. At the beginning stage of the formation of consumer cooperative stores, they were flooded with money because lot of assistance was provided from the center for starting consumer cooperative stores. But later on, these funds were reduced and they were facing finance problems. One of the reasons was that the district cooperative banks, which provided cash credit accommodation, stopped providing it uh, just because that the consumer stores were not working properly. Ineffective running of the consumer cooperative stores forced the district cooperative banks in with for not providing the cash credit accommodation to the consumer stores. So that led to inadequate finance. And in 1972, the state government provided interest-free long-term loans, which helped a bit to overcome the financial crisis. Still, consumer stores are facing lack of finance, which needs to be overcome. Next is defective purchase policy. So, when it comes to a trading organization which deals with consumer oriented products, purchasing decision is a very crucial decision. What to purchase, how much quantity to purchase, and how they have to stock their products, everything related with the purchase is a very important aspect. So this overstocking, without understanding the nature of demand, you will be purchasing more and you need to stock it for a long time. And after that, it becomes obsolete in the sense that the fashion may change, the consumer preferences may change, and that stock will become obsolete. So overstocking was a main problem in their defective, I mean, with regard to their purchase policy. Then purchase of sophisticated items. Some of the cooperative stores, some of the consumer stores were giving importance in purchasing sophisticated, highly complicated items, which proved to be not successful or which proved to be a failure. Then people, instead of purchasing from reputed mills, they were focusing on fancy items which they thought that will attract more consumers. But actually the statistics reveals that most of the consumers are interested in buying quality products, not fancy items, and only 5% of people prefer or consider the fancy items to be a part and parcel of consumer goods. So these problems, these kind of thoughts, you have to stock many things, you have to purchase sophisticated items, you have to focus on fancy items. All these were problems associated with defective purchase policy. Then lack of salesmanship. Salesmanship is a skill which needs to be inculcated in salesman so that he or she is able to impress the consumers and make the consumer buy the product. So in coming to consumer cooperative consumer stores, the salesmanship were not bothered about the profit of the organization because they were provided with salaries, and so they were not working enough to make the consumer buy the product or make it impressive to the consumer. Then suggested measures include, in order to improve the salesmanship of the salesman working in consumer cooperative stores, some of the measures were to provide timely training to the salesman, then to provide incentives which was based on the sales turnover, how much sales a particular salesman makes, and to provide incentives on the basis of sales turnover. You should provide rewards for best salesman, and they can be provided with attractive uniforms. So these are the measures that can be taken to improve salesmanship in consumer cooperative stores. Next is defective sales policy. The sales policy adopted by the consumer cooperative stores were also not so much good. It was not rational, the sales policy, because whenever you make a bulk purchase, you expect some kind of relaxation or some kind of discounts. So the sales policy was so stringent that it was not so flexible to include all these. So the suggested measures include to introduce active price policy. We have discussed in the last video about active price policy, which means that you can reduce your price a bit than what is available in the market. That is active price policy. Or you can provide special rebates during festivals. That is also a sales policy which can attract more consumers. Then price concession and free delivery for bulk purchases can be provided. When a consumer makes bulk purchases, price concession or free delivery can be provided. Then spot rebate for members. Members, when they make purchase from the stores, they can be provided with rebates. Then promotion and propaganda, in the sense that you should undertake promotional activities. Then next is managerial deficiency. We know that in the cooperative stores or cooperative form of organization, it lacks professionalized managerial management. The managerial activities will be undertaken by the elected directors who are honorary workers. They will be having other engagements, and along with that they will be undertaking the activities of the store also. So they lack expertise and they will not be having sufficient time to deal with the working of the organization. And lack of professionalization should be incorporated in the management of cooperative stores. Next is high cost of management. Though the consumer cooperatives are not engaging professional managers, still the cost of management is high in these kind of organizations. It has been seen that the working cost account for 8.7% of sales turnover. Cooperative stores in the sales turnover 8.7% വരെ അവരുടെ working cost ആയിട്ടാണ് കാണുന്നത്. അതിനുള്ള ഒരു പ്രധാന കാരണം they are overstaffed. More number of people are being appointed. So that should be taken care for reducing the managerial cost, working cost. Then next is lack of coordination between different tiers. We know that there are different tiers: the primary stores at the base level, district wholesale stores at the middle level, and the state consumer federation at the apex level. So what is intended was that the primaries will make the purchase from the wholesale store, and they will be selling it, and the wholesale stores, if they need, will make purchase from the consumer fed. But actually it was not happening. The primaries do not purchase from district wholesale stores due to inadequate and irregular supply. The district wholesale stores was not competent enough to meet the demands of primary stores. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് primaries അവിടുന്ന് വാങ്ങാതായി. The same with the district wholesale store. They secured on an average 7% of the total requirements from state federation. 7% മാത്രമേ അവർ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഫെഡറേഷൻ വാങ്ങുന്നുള്ളൂ. ബാക്കി അവർ പുറത്തുള്ളവരുടെ അടുത്ത് നിന്നാണ് വാങ്ങിക്കുന്നത്. So that is also creating problems. Then there should be a coordination also between the marketing societies and consumer stores. The lack of coordination is creating problem to the consumer stores in India. And the last one is absence of member education. എപ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ നല്ല സമയത്ത്, അതായത് when the market is favorable, when the consumer stores are able to provide benefits to consumers, the consumers will be with them. പക്ഷെ മോശമുള്ള സമയത്ത് when they need assistance, ആ സമയത്ത് കൺസ്യൂമേഴ്സ് ഒന്നും അതിന് കൂടെ നിൽക്കാത്തൊരവസ്ഥ. അപ്പൊ മെമ്പേഴ്സിനെ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് എഡ്യൂക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് എല്ലാ സമയത്തും ഫേവറബിൾ ആയാലും അൺഫേവറബിൾ ആയാലും you have to stand along with the cooperatives എന്നുള്ള ഒരു എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ്റെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്. should stand with the organization at all time. So focus on member relations ഉണ്ടാക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആൾക്കാർ എപ്പോഴായാലും എന്തൊക്കെയായാലും അവിടെ നിന്ന് വാങ്ങിക്കുള്ളൂ. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും. Then consumer information. ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ ഒന്ന് ചിന്തിച്ചാൽ മതി, സപ്ലൈകോയില് കുറച്ച് വില കുറവൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, നമുക്ക് ഫേവറബിൾ ആകുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അവിടെ നിന്ന് വാങ്ങിക്കും. അതിനേക്കാൾ വില കുറഞ്ഞിട്ട് വലിയൊരു റിലയൻസ് പോലുള്ള ഒരു മൾട്ടി ജയന്റിന്റെ അടുത്ത് നിന്ന് അങ്ങനെ കിട്ടുന്ന സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ സപ്ലൈകോന് വിട്ടിട്ട് അങ്ങോട്ടേക്ക് പോകും. അത് ഒഴിവാക്കാനാണ് ഈ മെമ്പർ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ, ആബ്സെൻസ് ഓഫ് മെമ്പർ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ. അപ്പോൾ മെമ്പേഴ്സ് തമ്മിൽ നല്ല റിലേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവുക, കൺസ്യൂമർ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻസ് പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുക, സ്റ്റഡി സർക്കിൾസ് ഒക്കെ നടത്താം. അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ ചെയ്ത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ആൾക്കാർ എന്തൊക്കെയായാലും അവിടുന്ന് തന്നെ വാങ്ങിക്കുള്ളൂ. അപ്പം ഇത്രയാണ് problems faced and some of the suggestions for improving the problems faced by consumer cooperatives. Hope it was you understood all this. If you have any doubts, please do clarify. Thank you.